So, you want to know about manifestation. There are tons of videos out there and it can be really confusing. If you're anything like I was, when I first found manifestation, I consumed tons and tons of content regarding all the different methods and belief systems within the principles of manifestation, and all it did was confuse me. So I decided to make this channel to help clarify some things. This video in particular, I'm going to cover all of the common misconceptions of manifestation and what actually works. So if you enjoy this video, go ahead and drop a like or subscribe to the channel for more. First off, I really had no idea what manifestation was. I had never really heard it outside of in a book that I read in middle school, and I first was very skeptical. I was a really logical person at the time in my life when I found out about manifestation, and it wasn't easy for me to adopt a new belief system. When I first discovered the principles of law of attraction, I felt kind of confused. I didn't really agree with everything, and ultimately I had the common belief that most people have, which is like, does this really work? This seems kind of like a snake oil salesman just getting rich off of the lies that they're trying to sell and maneuver to convince people to buy more and buy into it. And it wasn't until I actually started to practice belief, which is the principle of manifestation, that I started to realize, there's actually something here. Now, it gets really messy when you start to compare law of attraction, law of assumption, the different techniques. I'm sure if you're not new to manifestation, you've heard of scripting and affirmations, maybe even ask-formations, or SATs, which is short for state akin to sleep. There are so many meditation videos out there and so many YouTubers out there trying to share their success stories or their methodologies that worked for them. And believe me, I trust that if it worked for them, it really did work for them. But ultimately, what happens is we can get so convoluted in the journey of learning about manifestation that we're not actually applying the practices we're learning to see what is going to work best for us. Now, personally, scripting is just not something that works for me. It's not that I don't believe that it works. I fully believe that it can work, and I believe that it works for other people. It's just not natural for me. It doesn't bring me joy to do scripting, and so I don't do scripting. Affirmations, on the other hand, or ask-formations, are something that happens naturally for me. I can robotically affirm, which is essentially where you just repeat the same phrase over and over and over again to impress it on your subconscious. And I can do that very easily. It comes naturally to me. It's kind of fun. I get a little bit of humor out of it sometimes, just making fun of it and being playful in my action with that. Now, manifestation is an individual experience, and that's why probably if you've watched a ton of videos, they haven't been very helpful. If you're trying out things just based on believing that because it worked for someone else, it's going to work for you, it can lead you to somewhere wonderful, and you maybe will find something that works for you. But ultimately, if you're jumping from method to method and belief to belief and listening to all these different coaches and all of these different people on here making videos, you're not really listening to yourself. And I'm going to tell you right now that that is the biggest mistake that people make when it comes to manifestation. If you are not listening to what your intuition is telling you, you're doing it wrong. And that's pretty much the only way to do it wrong. Now, as you go on your journey and you do start to practice different techniques, you'll find that some just work better for you. You'll find that some create faster results. You'll find that some create resistance within you because they're not creating results, and you feel frustrated and you just keep leaning on those methods just to give you comfort. Whereas when you find a method that works best for you, works naturally with the way that your brain chemistry works, it'll feel easy, it'll feel like fun, it'll feel playful, and it won't bring about these feelings of desperation. It won't bring about these feelings of resistance within you. And that right there is the key. If you take anything away from this video today, the key is just to trust that what works for you is going to work for you, because when you feel comfortable in the way that you're manifesting, It allows you to persist, and persistence is the name of the game when it comes to manifestation. It doesn't matter what technique you use, it doesn't really matter what your beliefs are or the rules that you create for yourself. It doesn't matter how many limiting beliefs you have. Ultimately, it all comes down to how bad do you want it and how consistent or persistent can you be in that desire. The longer that you hold on to the desire, the longer you hold on to the vision, the more you invest in it, the more that you believe in it, the quicker it comes about. Now, I will share a couple of success stories just because we're here. And I want to share that there are a couple different methods that work best for me. Maybe they'll work good for you as well. So the very first thing that I ever manifested was a parking spot. And I know that sounds kind of cheesy and it sounds kind of lame, but it happened to be a Friday night, and I was driving from about an hour away from this city that is a very busy city, and Friday nights tend to be packed. It tends to be really difficult to find parking. And I was running late for one of my friend's theater performances, so it was very important that I found good parking. And I remember just driving, and I put on some music that made me happy, and I was like, I don't care that I'm running late, it doesn't matter, the 3D doesn't matter, the circumstances don't matter, and I'm going to find the perfect parking spot, and I'm gonna make it to showtime just on time, and I'm gonna get a perfect seat, and I'm gonna have an amazing time. And sure enough, as I was driving, I started to feel doubt. I started to be like, well, man, like looking at the time, there's no way that I'm gonna make it, even if they started a little bit late, like I'm running so late. And I just had to stop myself from that negative spiral and say, you know what? If I'm late, it's not the end of the world. But I know that I'm not gonna be late. I know that I'm going to arrive exactly on time, and I know that because I find the perfect parking spot, I'm going to get the perfect seat and I'm going to have the time of my life. And I just held on to that belief. And I kind of did affirm, but not robotically affirmed. I just kind of like made light of it. I said, oh yeah, I'm getting the perfect parking spot. There's nothing to worry about. I always get good parking anyway. I think I left exactly on time. There's no traffic. Like any traffic that there was is clearing up. There's no crazy drivers on the road. There's no accidents that are going to happen. Like everything is clear. Everything is exactly as it should be. And then I put on my music and I had a good time and I made it there. I found parking right in front of the theater and I didn't even have to pay for it, which was incredible. The show was beautiful. I had a wonderful time. It was amazing. Now, flash forward to my most recent manifestation, and that was a silver SUV. Now, I had needed a car, and I knew that I needed a car, but I didn't choose a car in particular that I really wanted. I didn't have any resistance, and I didn't have any particular desire. Now, I'm telling you this story because it kind of goes to show that no matter whether you are intentional about your manifestations or unintentional, they will come about. So I was listening to one of my favorite YouTubers, so shout out to The Rosie Life. She is a manifestation coach here on YouTube, and she's awesome. And I was just listening to one of her videos while I was going for a walk, and she had mentioned a success story from one of her clients or subscribers about a silver SUV. And I wasn't really thinking about getting a car. I kind of was just like, the right car will show up when it shows up, and I'm not going to put any stress on it, and I'm not going to worry about it, and I don't really care. I don't care what car I drive because it's just not that important to me. As long as it's safe and it's reliable, that's all I care about. And so because of that, I think my subconscious was just very open. It was very impressionable. So as I was walking and doing these meditations, I was just thinking about how everything that I need comes to me with ease. My life is getting easier. I don't even have to lift a finger when it comes to getting my desires because I simply attract them. And these are the kinds of narratives that I had while I was walking, hearing this video in the background, basically, just to have some noise in my ear while I was going for a walk. And sure enough, it was like the next Wednesday. That was a Friday. It was like the next Wednesday. I had a silver SUV. I became the owner of a silver SUV. And it's just kind of funny that whether we are super intentional or rather unintentional about manifestation, it can come about. And ultimately, it's all about our belief. So again, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and drop a like, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel. I hope that this demystified manifestation a little bit for you. I'll be doing these videos regularly to answer common questions and debunk some myths about manifestation and share more of my stories with manifestation for you all to learn from and benefit from. I know that when I began my manifestation journey, I had a lot of doubts and questions and fears ultimately. And the only way that I got through them was with the support of people here on YouTube. So I wanted to pay that forward so that maybe you, the viewer watching this, can benefit from something I've shared and get a manifestation that's really important or impactful to you. My number one goal with this channel is to help people. So if I've helped you today, stay tuned for more. Thank you.